Many that would take the shark and they would not vouch for the big aquarium, but they would vouch for something small, and they would take that shark and put that shark in the bathtub or put that shark in a small aquarium. He said, but knowing sharks, he said, this is an interesting fact I would like to drop to us. He said, sharks will only grow the size of where they are kept. If you put a shark in a bathtub, it'll only grow the size of the bathtub. If you put a shark in just a little tank, it'll only grow the size of that tank. He said, but if you release that shark and put it into the water, the ocean, its natural habitat element, it will grow to its desired height and feet of 8 feet. That's how it's supposed to be. And he says, so sad that he will see sharks that have been confined to small places and spaces, but never grow to their true potential. In the body of Christ, we've got a lot of older Christians and older believers, but they're just 6-inch saints. So y'all still here? There's a lot of people that really haven't grown up yet. Because they have not freed their minds, because they're still living not on the battleground of life, but still living on the playground of life. That's why Paul said, it ought to be a transition in my life, that one day I was Oxtail. But I got to be a time in my life where I got to turn to Cocktail. That I got to start changing the way I think if I want to see the Lord really take me to the next level and bless my life. That I don't want to be a 6-inch saint, but I have a God who's bigger than everything I'm going through in my life. And I need to be released to all the blessings God has for me. Not just confined. So it has to do with my occasion, my day-to-day walk with God. When I was a child, I look back and say, okay, this is how I used to think. This is how I used to talk. This is how I reason things out. I used to pull over and pop the trunk. Y'all know what I mean? It's the way I used to reason. I was like, meet me outside. But now I say, you know what? I'm going to pray for you. Because that's how I used to be. And all of us, I know it's just that one person knows how to push that right button. But then we don't want to go back. He said that when I was a child, and we don't want to go back to that child mindset. He said, but not only when you look at this, he said, look, Cocktail, not Oxtail, has to deal with the occasion. But then he says, secondly, deals with the location. Everybody say location. Look at part B. He says, but when I grew up, I put away childish things. Where are we now? When I grew up, I put away childish things. And I look at this, and when you begin to look at the author of the text, and you see how you saw Paul's journey and transition in life, Paul has really made some strides. Because we've seen Christ and the light knock him off his beast, have a conversation with him, he's been blinded, he's going through all these things. Then you see how he's the writer of the majority of the New Testament. This is awesome. We're really holding a great jewel when we read the letters of the Pauline epistles. But then he's been shipwrecked, been bitten by snakes, been stoned. He's gone through all this stuff, but he's still able to encourage the body of Christ. And that shows a sign of true maturity. And it doesn't matter where you are in life, regardless of your location, you still honor love and have a commitment to loving God and others. This is what he's showing us. He says, but when I grew up, I put away childish things. I've come to understand this, and I want to drop this, and I'm not going to hold you long, that there are many people who show up to adulthood, but not everybody will grow up to adulthood. I'll say that again. I want to get that. There are many people who will show up to adulthood. 18, I'm ready. Ready to go out and do something. Ready to see the world. 21, give me a drink. Everybody will show up to adulthood. But not everyone will grow up to adulthood. Because there is a big difference, and I've come to discover this, of enjoying a grown moment and enjoying every moment of being grown. Let me drop that again. There's a big difference of enjoying a grown moment. Now, I have to keep it a certain way because I understand the age gap in the room. There's a big difference. There are a lot of people who like to do some grown things, but that doesn't make you grown. There's a lot of stuff we do that we feel like, oh, I'm grown, but then I know a lot of grown people on the weekend, but Monday morning they turn back to children. Am I making sense? Because they enjoy a grown moment on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But on Monday, they don't enjoy every moment of being grown. Because grown people go to work. Grown people pay bills. Grown people put food on the table. Grown people make sure that when that light switch goes up, the lights come on. Grown people are responsible when that toilet has to be flushed and it actually flushes. Grown people make sure that we got clothes. You understand what I mean? So it can't just be living and just doing something to be grown, but you want to enjoy every moment of being grown, not just a grown moment. And he says in the text, he says, but when I grew up, I put away childish things.